Hello, teachers. Welcome to Para Maestros podcast. This is the English version. Para Maestros means for teachers only. Here we will talk about education, everything related with our profession, from the perspective of Latin America and from the perspective of other teachers from around the world. We will have opinions, interviews, and lots of information about education, and I hope you enjoy it. Long time no see. I know I've been busy. I've been very busy lately. I don't know if you follow my social media, but I just moved back from China to Colombia, and now I'm here and starting my new episodes, talking about my experiences and all these things. So I hope you enjoy. I will have more people to come to the podcast, talk to you, to answer questions and share experiences. So you're welcome to keep listening. I also have a big change. I changed my hair. If you're looking in YouTube, I had really long hair and I just decided I cut it off. So my hair is short now, which is nice. Fresh and nice not to have so much hair. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about one of the strategies that I really enjoy doing the most as a teacher, and it is differentiation. I think it's one of the, and even it's not a new source of, a new strategy, a new technology. It was one of the best I learned about, and I really enjoyed learning about it. So teachers, I invite you to imagine this. Imagine that every student in a classroom, regardless of their background, their learning style, their situation at home, feels seen, feels heard, and challenged. This is not just a dream, it's a reality. You can achieve that through differentiation. Differentiation is one of the strategies that I learned that it helped me to reach my students. And I'm very proud of having used it for a long time. But what is differentiation? If you don't know, many of you might not, but differentiation is a practice of tailoring the instruction to meet the diverse needs of the students by understanding the students' unique strengths, weaknesses, and learning styles. But we can create an engaging and effective learning experience. It's beautiful, but it's hard. What is differentiation? Well, as Carol Ann Tollinson, a leading expert in differentiation, explained, differentiation is about adjusting the instruction to meet the needs of learners. This involves considering students' readiness levels, interest, and learning performance. So that is one of the things that I learned throughout the years. You don't do differentiation from one day to another. Even in 1 year, you may not reach differentiation as it should, or people say it should be. But starting is a good point. So what can you do to differentiate? You can divide your students into groups based on their needs, interests, or abilities. And if you haven't read Tollinson's books, I strongly recommend you. Please read them. Another way to differentiate, you could rotate your group regularly to provide opportunities to diverse interaction and skill development. Tier the assessment. So the assessment shouldn't be the same because everybody's different and students have different abilities. So you can create assignments, not assessments, assignments that are different levels of difficulty and challenges for the learners. Offer choice in tasks and activities and products and cater the individual interests, individual interests. Cater individual interests. It's important for the students to feel that they can do something. So the level of difficulty have to be enough to challenge, but not too much to frustrate the brain. I would say the brain more than the student, the brain. So it has to be the right amount, and only teachers, we know how to do it. I mean, some people say, hey, how do you do this? But when you go and observe your students and you notice this is the difficulty that they can, you need to challenge a little bit more, but they also can reach it. And with a little effort, they will reach it. and then they feel an accomplishment. So it's important, very important to have these assignments cater to the students' need. Another way is learning contracts. I don't know if you have heard about it. Learning contracts are created to personalize the outline and outline the specific goals of the students. So one student will have a different goal than the other, but the learning contract will help them to go to that goal, to just reach that goal. Of course, then having several strategies and several activities that they have to accomplish to complete the contract. That's an option. You can call it, you can change the name if you want to, but the meaning is the same. I usually used to call them agendas, the learning agendas. And then in my practice, I use the learning agenda where my students have the agenda, everybody, the groups, I divided in different groups. I divided in different groups and they have different agendas, but the same in language. So my students with certain genders will have several more activities because they can do it, because they were um, good at completing certain tasks or their reading skills were higher. And some of them will have a different sort of book or a different reading level or a different reading or writing activity because they also can do it, but it was maybe not too difficult for the others or not too difficult. It was a little simpler, but it was challenging enough to that student. And that is important because the goal is to learn, to learn. If the student come with different level of readiness, they need more time but they're learning. That's important. Always focus on the learning. Learning is important. Another idea that you can incorporate that I don't think Pauline some talking in our books is neuroscience. Neuroscience is giving us a lot of good things, and I'm gonna go and have more chapters of it because I've heard and I've done some of these neuroscience strategies. For example, having students break time, having breaks during each um, activity, between each activity will help the brain to learn. Who knows? When we rest, we're learning also. So the brain needs some time. And remember, our brains are incredibly adaptable. By understanding how our students learn the best, we can tailor our instruction to optimize our outcomes. And remember, artificial intelligence will help you a little bit with this. Different students have different learning styles. By considering these learning styles and leveraging neuroscience research, we can create more engaging and effective learning methods. And I will get more strategies for that neuroscience can give us. There are more strategies. I'm going to tell you at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you one that I really like and I thought it wouldn't work, but it works. And I waited to the end. Some of the benefits of differentiation is improve student achievement. It can help students to improve their performance, increase the engagement because it's not too hard for them, it's not too easy for them. If it's too easy, they get bored. If it's too hard, they get frustrated. So it's in the right amount, perfect way to get and then to learn. It also enhances social emotional learning. A differentiated classroom fosters positive and inclusive learning environment, promoting students' self-esteem and social skills. Practical tips. Do you want some practical tips? Yes, I know. You have to know your students. Use formative assessment to identify your students' strengths, weaknesses, and learning styles. Get to know your students as individuals and build strong relationships. That it doesn't just fit differentiation, it fits every time, everything you do in the classroom. Okay? Plan for differentiated lessons. Consider how to use the content in different um, situations, like how can you differentiate the content as the process of the content or the product of the content. You can differentiate it that way. Use a variety of structure and strategies such as lectures, questions, group work, and independent projects that we all do all the time, but with the intention of differentiated or with the intention of differentiation. Always create a supportive learning environment. Establish clear expectations and routines. Encourage collaboration and consideration and cooperation among students. Celebrate diversity and individual differences. This is so important because when you celebrate diversity, when diverse and neurodiverse and diverse in all other forms are of the classroom and is a norm, is normal, then we accept it and we engage, because when we accept that we all are different, then we are acceptable. We are accepting the others, and then we don't criticize them much, and we encourage the person or the children to be more helpful, to be more kind with each other. So diverse, it's important, and diverse should be part of our norm, our life. It's good to have people from different backgrounds. It's good to have people that have different ways to think or different ways to see the world. That is so important, and it's important to create these environments. Very supportive for the students and for the teachers. Okay, so always celebrate. So by implementing differentiation strategies, we can create a more equitable and effective learning environment for all students. Remember, the goal of differentiation is to help the students to reach their full potential, no matter what it is. That is their full potential. So let's make a difference one student at a time. And as I said before, the strategy that I use that comes from neuroscience that I thought was very weird, but it works. It's ask your students to stare at a dot on either the screen or the whiteboard somewhere. Just stare at it for about 10 seconds. What it does, it releases certain chemicals on the brain, and it makes them focus. Can you believe that? So I did that with my students. I drew a dot on my board, and I said, look at this. Don't look at me. Look at the board for 10 seconds. Some of them could, some of them couldn't. But at the end, they were a little more calm and then more focused. So that's one of the things that maybe you want to implement. You never know. Okay, teachers, stay tuned for more episodes, and don't forget to subscribe. That sounds very negative. We could say, please subscribe, right? Positive speaking, positive statements we teachers know. Okay, thank you for listening, and stay tuned. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening, teachers. Stay curious. Connect with me on social media and explore my website. All the links in the description below.